There's this curiosity about the life of influencers because we're putting all of our lives out there for everybody to see. I have, huge gun following. I'm a conduit, an advocate to promote people to buy guns. I first got a Facebook and Instagram page in 2014. At the time as well, women in hunting weren't really a thing. So I started posting photos of myself online of my kills. So I got really into the traffic and the kind of support for the Second Amendment, which I loved. A year and a half in, what is this? Whenever somebody just said, hey, can we have you come out to this event? And how much do you charge? And I'm like, do I charge? How much do I? So I started Googling, what are influencers? This is when I first learned that being an influencer was a thing.
She's a social media influencer with hundreds of thousands of followers. She goes by Liberty Austin, and she asked us not to use her real name.
So my husband is my photographer most of the time. Okay. He's had to learn how to get the right angles, he gets yelled at a little bit. Are you gonna take this picture? Can you give me a higher angle? Influencers is like a common person that's just living their life, maybe in a more, extraordinary type of fashion, but still an ordinary person, is a lot more interesting to followers than, let's say, Kim Kardashian, where she is unreachable. I can interact with my followers, again, through comments or private messages. It's a lot more attainable.
Much of what Liberty promotes are guns and gun accessories.
I see my followers as people who are already practicing the Second Amendment. I see it as more of a support group. A gun to me is the most important things that I have with me. It symbolizes peace of mind. It allows me to basically live my life without fear.
While gun companies face restrictions when taking out ads on Instagram and Facebook, Liberty isn't held to the same standard. Although Instagram says in 2020 that might change.
Wow.
And they plan to enforce a new rule that doesn't allow influencers to promote weapons. For years, Liberty's posts with firearms and accessories have been branded as more of a lifestyle than an advertisement. She's taking gun marketing to a new level.
A lot of these gun industry people, these manufacturers, they're friends of mine.
Thank you.
I understand that they're running a business. I see how that creates jobs, creates a job for me. I want them to succeed.
Liberty's influencer life isn't just online. She regularly makes appearances at gun-related events.
You know what really freaks me out about coming to Seattle without my gun was that I've always heard that all the serial killers come from here, all the major ones. I'm a little bit more paranoid than most people probably, but it's a huge part of who I am. The need for being safe, the need for protecting my kids is always on my mind.
This is TriggerCon, a multi-day convention for gun manufacturers and enthusiasts.
The lead team at TriggerCon, they understand that I have, huge gun following. I can kind of see my reflection in here. So they invited me to be a guest at their event and promote it.
In recent years, the gun industry has made a pivot towards women, according to Amy Huff, who studies the market of gun culture.
It helps the brands, the firearm brands, to gain exposure to an audience of potential customers who would never otherwise encounter their advertisements.
Hi. So I'm walking around TriggerCon again.
So what we see with Liberty Austin's feed is a label or a title, it's in her name, that's very all-American. Imagery and messaging that really pulls in a lot of all-American themes and ideas. American flags, hunting, camo, cowboy boots, dogs, firearms. She's portraying and promoting a lifestyle where guns play a pivotal focal role.
It's been a really good day. I've seen lots of dogs today, though.
We could see a number of different impacts of this normalization of guns on society.
Love this.
One of those impacts would be that it would be far more difficult to implement any legislation that would be regarded as gun control.
You guys need to try to make it out to TriggerCon. And share. And just one more, but higher. Sorry, my ankles.
No, you did direct me.
I believe that the followers are more interactive with micro-influencers, which makes it more appealing to companies to market through an average person who's an influencer. So I don't give a specific number in a year. Let's say if that was my only job, I could definitely sustain myself.
Liberty accumulates a majority of her influencer money through appearances, but she also accepts cash or gun products in exchange for posts.
I generally use a rule of like $10 for 10,000 followers. As my following grows, my income for a post can grow. That is cool. The company that is sending me those items is aware that they're wanting to tap into the followers that I have. You guys have a card or something?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have a card or something? Do you guys have a card?
There you go.
Thank you. More than anything, if it came down to promoting guns, I would do it for free because I truly believe in why I do it. When I was 16 years old, a serial rapist that was known in the area at the time in Austin was going around raping college girls, and my sister's apartment got broken into. I happened to be staying with my sister and my cousin who shared an apartment at the time. He broke into our apartment and he raped my sister. He tied up my cousin. Every single night after that, I woke up at the same time he broke in. I couldn't sleep in the dark. I had to sleep with someone in the room. So I always say hunting saved my life because it did. It was like a rebirth in a lot of ways. I regained my faith and my hope for the future, and that's why I'm so attached to my firearms. When I'm posting with guns, I am promoting the Second Amendment. I am encouraging people to carry firearms. I'm doing my part in that fight against the attack on the Second Amendment. It kind of sends that message out there, like there's normal people out there that do like firearms. And I do feel like people that see that might turn around and go like, hey, I want to go do that.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.